Okay, in this tutorial we're going to start looking at concept massing and more organic forms using Revit. So if we go and do a save as of the template, again we're just making sure we're always going to create our form within the boundaries of the square and not extend anything up beyond the 10th floor. So first of all we're going to start looking at creating this form. Now if we go to Revit, first of all go to ground floor, make sure show mass is switched on, and then we go in place mass, click OK. In the very simplest form we're just going to use model and make sure you're on the ground floor plan, and we're going to use ellipse. So first of all we're going to make just a rough ellipse within there. Doesn't matter the exact measurements. Then we're going to go to the 6th floor, and again we're just going to use the ellipse tool, and we're just going to make it smaller than the previous one. Doesn't matter exactly where it is, but we just make that smaller. And then on the 10th floor this one's going to be a lot larger. So again, because we're drawing them at different levels, when we go to the 3D you can see that they've drawn at different levels. Now we're going to create a form from that. If you select each all of them, either by selecting one and then keeping your finger on control, you select all three, and then you can select create form, it will join all those points up and create a form. So after that you can manipulate the form by selecting either the line to bring it in, or if you select that, drag it down slightly, or if you select the point you can bring that point up and then bring that point down. So you can start to manipulate that form to make a much more organic form. You can also go back, say if you wanted to create this the ellipse slightly smaller, if you select it and then we say edit profile, it goes back to creating, it goes back to drawing mode. So if you go back to the ground floor plan and if you select them all, select both line, press delete and make it a bit smaller. So if I just wanted it at that point there, redraw it, click OK, and then it's changed that ellipse to the one I've just created. So there's various ways to create organic forms using Revit. So I'm just going to delete that. Once you're finished with that, you click happy with mass and we will export it. The other way, what we're going to do is there's our Hadim museum here, and to create that go back to ground floor, click massing and site, show mass, in place mass, click OK. This time we're going to draw two profiles in elevation. So what we're going to need is create what's called reference planes. So these are, rather than drawing them on plan, we want to draw them on elevations, but we need to create reference planes. So I click reference planes and just draw two lines, one above the other. And now I want to draw and create the first form on this reference plane. So if we click draw and then we click set and then we say pick plane, click OK, and we pick that plane, so that surface I want to draw on, and click south. So now this is where this is how you can draw your shape. So I'm going to roughly draw that front elevation, so it does something like so you do a curve here. Try not to use the spline tool because it's not mathematical and might not necessarily work, so try using the arches, even though the spline tool does give nicer curves, but it might not necessarily work. So just roughly create that form. Click on that again, just pick a line there, So you can take a bit of time to create a form which is a bit more realistic. Now if I go back to ground floor plan, the 2D drawing is in elevation, is there, and then I'm going to draw the other shape onto this plane here. So again, if I go draw, this line, click set work plane, pick work plane, pick the top one, and we go to the north elevation. I will just do a semicircle, and if we go to 3D, I want to combine this form with that curve. So if I select the two, keep my finger on control, and then select create form, it will create just the what's called the plane of that form. So it doesn't create a solid shape, it just creates the outline of that shape. So you can same way, if you select a point, it gives you the options to move them in and out. Pick that point, I think you can bow out, so it's sort of similar to the scheme, but you can start to manipulate that form. Pick that point there, drag it out, and just making sure it's in the confound of our. So essentially you've got like a cloak. If you click finish, once you're happy with that form, we need to apply some surfaces to them. So massing and site, either you select roof or wall, and then if you hover around, some of them might not work because if it's quite a acute angle, it won't necessarily work. So click roof. Oops, sorry. If I click wall, so you might have to go back and change that form so it's a bit more of a curve or not at a tight angle. So it might take a little while just to get the right angles. Okay, and again wall. Because it's doing it at a right angle, and that's showing the thickness of the material, you might get some overlapping similar to that, but you can amend it afterwards once it's modelled, or cut it away. But when you do create your own buildings, you won't have walls as thick as this, so you can use this to create a design and a building in realistic rather than doing it for as a massing study. So once you're happy with that, you can just switch it off and ready for export.